Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today it is Tuesday and we are going to do a little bit of a trick that I just learned and different topics on gel pens and how, see, I don't use gel pens to color large areas because of the fact that I don't like the look that gel pens gives me. There's a depending upon the gel pen, of course, there's different lines that it puts in the pictures, and I don't like those lines. They bug me. So typically, I don't use a gel pen to color a large area. Now, in our picture that we did for the crafters, for my Thankful for Crafters, I did a lot of gel pen on here. This entire Um, tool chest is all gel pen. There's gel pen on the pictures. So when I was looking at the tool chest after I finished, I didn't like the look of it because it looked lumpy. It didn't look well blended. It looked lumpy, and I didn't like it. So I did something, and I'm going to show you what I did. So we're going to move this away. I have a little picture here. I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera. This is a color pocket picture, and we're going to color this. And we're going to use a couple of different oranges for the pumpkin, first of all. So we're going to start with the light orange. Now, the Sparkle Pop and the Pentel gel pens puts out a lot of gel quite quickly, which is great. But it does tend to pool sometimes and give you bumps and lumps and lines and all that fun stuff. Now I'm going to adjust that because that is way too bright. Hold on one second. Sorry guys. That is really bright. There, that's better. Can actually see the orange. I turned on other lights and it's quite dark today, so the camera is picking up all the light. All right, so as you can see, there's weird little lines in the gel pen and that sort of thing. This is why I don't typically color a large area with gel pen. I don't find that I can blend it as well as I do colored pencil, just with the pens themselves. All right, now we're going to take the dark orange and we're going to do our shadows. Just like we would with color pencil. Now you can wait until this dries, but the one thing about waiting for it to dry is it does have a tendency to not blend as well. I know, what's the trick, Renee? Why are we mucking? Unfortunately, we got to get this colored first, and then I'll show you the trick. I was really quite surprised that it actually worked. Okay. Now, of course, you may have to keep another gel pen, another piece of paper next to you so that you can wipe your gel pen off. All right. And this isn't going to I think the longest part of this is the coloring part. So we're just going to do a couple of layers here for like a couple of parts of the pumpkin. That's the words I want. Now I did try this technique with both the flat gel pens, so not the glitter ones, as well as the glitter ones, and it did work for both. So I'm going to put down the line. And then we're going to leave this area alone and let it dry. And while it's drying, we'll turn the page and do his hat with some glitter pens. And other people may already know this, but I was quite surprised with the fact that it worked. So I wanted to share you my learning, what I have learned, especially when I learn something new that I haven't seen happen before. All right, so I'm going to take some black and some blue. Now the black is more of a red color, so this is going to be, it's black with a red undertone, which is fine. And by the time I'm done his little hat here, the orange would have dried. So as you can see, as it dries, it starts turning red, which is kind of cool, but kind of not cool all at the same time, because especially if you just want black. And I have tried it with other gel pens as well. I tried it with the Castle Arts, and it did work for the plain Castle Arts. So those ones that are the regular colors. Didn't work as well as it did with the Pentels, but it still worked. All right. I know the suspense is killing you. I know. Just watching me color with just gel pens is probably one of those things that's another reason why I don't like coloring with gel pens is they have a tendency to lift the paper, especially if you have a gel pen that doesn't want to work well and you press a little bit harder on it to get the ink to flow. Glitter gel pens do have a tendency to be blotchy because of the glitter getting stuck in the nib. So covering that white spot and all that stuff can be a little bit more irritating. Also, it gives you these start and stop lines. So even if you go in circles or anything else, you're still going to get those swirls, those stop and starts, and that sort of thing. All right, now we're going to take our blue and we're going to go underneath here. Do the end part of the hat. I'm using the blue because it does show what happens to the pen with the technique. So what happens to the glitter? Again, just getting that layer on there. Trying to make sure it's fairly covered. All right, let's do the other side here. The orange is pretty dry now. The Pentel pens do dry a little bit quicker than some other gel pens. So if you are going to try this, make sure that your pen is dry. Otherwise, it's just going to move the pen around and possibly scrape it all up. And this does not work on white gel pen. I did try, and yes, it scraped it. So, and I have not tried it with other things. So, now typically you can smooth this out with just a paintbrush and some water. So you can definitely move your pen with that technique. You can definitely blend with it and move it around. However, that does lift a bit of your ink. Now I'm going to blend and remove all of the lines. So that's still a bit wet. Let's see if this is wet. Okay, so the red is drier than the orange. So let's start here. And I'm just very gently going over it with my blender pencil. This is the Caran d'Ache blender. And basically what it is doing is it's flattening that that gel into the paper. And adding that layer of wax over top of it, which is going to make it waterproof as well. Once you get a layer on there, you can press a little bit harder and start moving that around a little bit. I've never done it with the red, so the fact that it's bringing up some of that black is really kind of cool. And basically what it's doing is it's pushing that glitter down a little bit. And smoothing it out. And as you can see, it didn't scrape it off. There's very little red on my pencil. And basically it just smoothed it right out so that it's nice and flat. Isn't that cool? Now if I tip this, you can still see the glitter, but it's more of a metallic now instead of a glitter. Same with down here. Let's see if this is dry. Yeah, I think. We'll test it. I think this side here will probably be drier faster. Same concept. With the glitter, I push a little tiny bit harder just to push that glitter in on the second go around. And it just pushes it right down, makes it all shiny without as much of the glint. But if you look at it this way, you can still see that glint. And you can move it around and blend it together if you had it layered on top of each other. So I'm going to show you that here on this one here. So I've used two different oranges here. So I'm going to move those around and blend them together and soften that gel pen. I'm going to move that into any crevices. And with this colored gel pen instead of the sparkle one, I do press a little bit harder, especially if I'm trying to blend the two colors together. It doesn't blend it very far, but it softens that edge a little bit. And it smooths the pen right out. The other thing that it does do is it gives you a bit of that, a good layer of that wax on top, which gives you a waterproof barrier. So you can actually go over this with watercolor and not worry about that pen moving. So as you can see, it's very, very smooth now. There's no pen marks through it, nothing like that. It's just very smooth. So that is my trick. How to blend gel pens with a Caran d'Ache blender. Alright, so I'm going to take you over here so you can see it a little bit better. So as you can see, I'll turn this light on. As you can still see the glit, but it's more of a metallic sheen now instead of a glitter. And for this part down here, it's just flat. It almost looks like it's pencil, which is really kind of cool. All right, so that is it for today. Hopefully, I've taught you something. I know that I learned it, and I was using the solar and the Milky Pops when I discovered it. So, of course, like I said, you can use it pretty much for any gel pen. I can't guarantee that it's going to work for every gel pen. I did try it with the Castle Arts and the Pentel, and I do believe that a friend of mine tried it with An Art. And it seemed to work quite well for both. So, if you don't like using gel pens because you don't like the way they cover, Or if you are going to use gel pen and then use watercolor for your background, another use for our Caran d'Ache full blenders. I love these things. They work for everything, and it is one of the best blenders out there to ensure that you have a water resistant barrier on your colored pencils, and now I know on your gel pen. All right, guys, I know it's a short video, but that was what I wanted to show you. Thank you all very much for watching. Of course, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.